to sort of get an anchor point for what we're talking about, when we talk about the difference between wanting to do something in order to get power versus, well, what is actually driving that need for power, like you only need to look as far as Donald Trump, who is the most famous example right now of a man who is utterly beset by deep, unacknowledged wells of shame, who is one of the most insecure people on the planet and one of the most powerful. So you'll get people saying he's doing this for power, he's only interested in power. And this is what we did in the book, is it's like, well, but why does he need power so badly that he's willing to, at the moment, burn his country down, right?
And exhibiting classic coercive control.
Exactly. He coercively controls the nation. He probably coercively controls his wife. Like he is a classic coercive controller. Now, the thing that we know about Donald Trump is he was raised by a father who said that you have to be a killer, and that the only option is to win, right? And nothing else matters. And what we see is Donald Trump, even in this time of enormous national chaos, is still going after small targets on his Twitter feed, right? He's still looking for all of those slights and those humiliations and trying to attack them one by one. This is not someone who is looking for power's sake. He's looking for power to cover up and dispel the enormous sense of shame that he carries every day. It's the classic thing of what a narcissist does, is build a firewall of this grandiose personality, the undiscovered genius, all that sort of thing, which we see so often in domestic abuse perpetrators, in order to basically make it so that that feeling of shame never rises above a perceivable surface, so that you're always one step ahead of it by abusing and controlling other people, and that's, so what we really wanted to do was look beyond, okay, so he does it for power and control, he does it because he can. These were the sorts of answers that were being given by a lot of people in the sector as to why men are abusive in relationships. And it's like, but why is he willing to destroy not only his partner and perhaps his children's life, but even his own life? In the case of so many murder-suicides, or in going to jail, or any number, just being a miserable person who's constantly on guard. Why does he want to do that? And that's why the issues around shame, that got to the heart of it so well, because it's like, it's looking at especially the notion of humiliated fury, which was a concept that was advanced in the early 70s by, you call her pioneering, because there weren't that many female psychoanalysts around at that time, but Helen Block Lewis, who's a Brooklyn psychoanalyst. And she basically showed how humiliated fury was essentially particularly male response to feeling deep unacknowledged shame, in a way that they would dispel that shame by using anger and fury and imposing that on others, and replace the feeling of shame with a feeling of power. And for some, that may be short-lived, that feeling of power, and, lashing out, saying really injurious things, using sadistic violence, whatever it is. That will be that feeling of power, and the flush of it might only last for a few minutes, or it might last for a few days. And then people who aren't actually true sadists and who are actually emotionally attached to their partner will probably come back around and try to apologise for it. And they'll feel sort of a sense of restoration through that whole cycle. It's like, I've reinstated my power, now I feel terrible, now we're going to come back together and we're going to have the closeness that comes after an explosion. But then, of course, the cycle keeps repeating. And so this is where you get what is commonly known as the cycle of violence, where you have an explosion, an apology, a honeymoon phase. So you get back to what a lot of perpetrators want, which is this idealized version of the relationship, where it's like you're in the flush of it. It's all romantic, it's all new again. But then that starts to wear off. You get the build up, and then you get another explosion. That's not the case in every relationship, but it is the case in you see that repeated time and time again.
I've got a friend of mine who's created that exact same model out of his own work, and he calls it the flowers and chocolates phase, which is actually one of the most dangerous aspects of the whole thing, because once that starts, it's all going to happen again, which is interesting.
Thank you for tuning in to The Science of Psychotherapy. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell so that we can reach more people and bring you more Science of Psychotherapy. And if you're a mental health professional, check us out at thescienceofpsychotherapy.com.